Stolas was captured by Stryker. As Stryker began to laugh, he looked down at Stolas. Well, well, well. Finally, it seems like royalty goes to an end. Oh, Stolas, you really thought you can get away with this? Get away with cheating on your rich wife? Well, I don't really care. I'm just glad I get to stick it to nobility. Stolison smirked and said, that's funny because you're working for nobility. It seems like not much will change for you if I die or live. This was supposed to make Stryker mad. However, Stolas did not see Stryker as the kind of man that he was. Stryker seemed like a mercenary, simply doing things for money. True, he may have hated rich demons, but he wouldn't disobey their orders. After all, he needed the money. He was Stella's little puppet, and that's all he was. As Stryker got a call, Stella told him not to kill him because, well, they need the money. This shocked Stryker. Stryker wanted the money, too, but more than anything, he wanted to prove a point. He wanted to prove he didn't need royals. As Moxie and Millie were running up to save him, it was too late. Stryker struck him straight in the neck, killing him. As Stolas laid there dead, Moxie and Millie were shocked as they got there too late. Stryker laughed. What are you gonna do now? You could always attack me, but it won't do anything. Moxie would punch Stryker. As Millie and Moxie would start to fight Stryker, Stryker would start to fight back, but it didn't matter. They already failed. They failed to save Stolas. This had so many consequences. Now they had to get revenge. They had to defeat Stryker. As they fought Stryker one-on-one, they weren't doing too well, but together they were pushing him back on his toes. However, Stryker had no reason to fight. He already got what he wanted, so Stryker tried to run as he threw a rope to one of the trains, causing him to get dragged away. As they're gonna chase him, Millie said let him go, but trust me on this. If we killed him, it wouldn't bring him back, sweetie. They both looked down. Yeah, but it'll feel good, don't worry. We'll kill that bastard later. You promise? I promise. They smiled at each other lightly, even though they knew this wouldn't go well. They picked up Stolas and began to carry him back. As then we cut to Blitz. Blitz just got Luna a shot, and well, even though it was hard, he was feeling good about himself. He helped out his daughter, which he loves, but then he got a phone call. As he said, "What is it now? I'm busy. Stolas is dead." Blitz hung up the phone, as he didn't talk. He simply drove home. Luna looked at him and said, "Are you okay?" Blitz said, "Look, Luna, I'm not going to put up with your shit today, okay? I did enough for you. Just leave me alone." As then he laid down and tried to go to bed. Blitz never talked to her like that. She wanted to ask him what was wrong, but she just couldn't do it. She decided to just go to bed. Later, she would find out what happened. As Blitz took it hard, he would cry all night. He couldn't believe this. Stolas was gone. And even though he lied to himself that he didn't care about Stolas, that all this was some sort of just thing Stolas used him for, he actually did love him. And he would cry for 2 days straight. He wouldn't come into work either. He would just lay down and cry, unable to move, unable to act, unable to do anything but think about Stolas, the man he lost. As this was going on, we cut to Octavia and Stella. Octavia was devastated. True, sometimes she felt like her father cared about that imp more than anything else and was going to run off with him. However, that wasn't true, and she started to realize how much her father cared about her. She started to remember all the good times she had with him. Even though he was flawed, he was still a good man. And he was still her father. However, Stella was overjoyed as she began to celebrate because she wasn't a very subtle person. Octavia was shocked. True, Stella hated him, but to celebrate him dying, Octavia ran out. "What are you doing? I know you hated Dad, but to celebrate his death, that's awful. Stella would laugh and say, "You don't even know the half of it. I'm the one who got him killed. I hired that hitman." Octavia would be shooken in fear. All this time she blamed Dad for ruining this family, for ruining this relationship. But all this time it was ruined by her mom. It all makes sense now. She was mad at her dad for nothing. She began to cry. She fell on her knees. "No, why? Why would you do that? Why would you kill him? Just because he cheated on you? I understand that it was wrong, but She just started to cry as Stella looked at her and say, "Aw, my little daughter crying. We'll get over it already. He was a disgrace to our name and to our family. He made us look bad." Stella kept on yelling, but even though she was mad at Octavia, usually Octavia would just put in her earphones and not listen, but Octavia listened to every second of this, and she began to realize more and more what happened. Octavia looked and said, "Why was I even born?" Stella said, "Oh, shut up. You were born of a royal marriage. You carry royal blood. We were married to give birth to you." As suddenly Octavia realized something. The only reason she's alive was because of some arranged marriage. Dad was never happy. He never wanted to marry her. He didn't ruin the family. The family wasn't even meant to be together. She shouldn't even been born. Octavia, realizing all this, felt heartbroken. She felt like she was worthless. But most of all, she felt angry towards her mom, and she wanted revenge. She wanted to get rid of her. She wanted to avenge her dad more than anything else. As she began to run, she stormed out. As Stella followed her, eventually she would lose her. As Octavia would knock on the door, Blitz would open and say, "Oh, what is this? Are you going to ask me questions about your dad? Listen, I miss him, but I'm not ready to." Octavia would say, "No, I have a plan to get revenge." Blitz would look intrigued. Even though he was a bit sad and didn't want to talk to anybody, he agreed as he said, "Come in." Octavia would look at Blitzo. "I have a plan. I want to hire Stryker anonymously. After all, I do have some of my family's money. I can hire him to kill Stella. Then, once he goes in to kill her, we'll set up a trap and take him down." Blitzo says that could work. However, pretty sure he'll realize who's hiring. As Octavia had another plan to help with her original plan. You see, she was going to wait a few months to make sure it didn't look suspicious, as she hired the media, the news, people on social media, the paper news, that stuff only old people actually read, to make sure that people actually know what Stella's doing, and to try to deface her in any way possible. As she did this, more and more people started to dislike Stella, and eventually it was time to hire Stryker. As Stella was sleeping, everything was going great for her. True, she wanted Stolas alive at first to, keep some of his money, but that didn't really matter. As suddenly she would wake up, tied to her bed, as she saw Stryker. What are you doing here? I told you not to." Stryker would say, "It doesn't matter what you told me. I gave up the money to kill him, and honestly, it was worth it to break free from you. To break free from you arrogant nobility. It made me feel alive. Now, it's time I get rid of you, once and for all." As then, Stryker would cut off her head. As he felt victorious, he got rid of Stolas. He got rid of her. And now, with her dead, he would be able to collect the money he couldn't get when he would attack Stolas. Everything seemed like it was going up his way, but suddenly something would happen. A small gunshot was heard, as then he fell to the floor dead. Blitzo had a sniper rifle, he used it to kill Stryker. As everyone watched, it seemed like he was gone. Finally, a new chapter was going to begin in their lives. Octavia would invite Blitzo and Luna to live with her for a while, as Blitzo started up his business again. Before, though, Octavia would have to support them financially, which was not a problem since Stella and Stolas left behind all their money straight to her. as she lived with quite a few bits and pieces of her wealth. As they all were happy about getting revenge, they all were sad also. Because they gave up Stolas, a man that Blitzo loved, and a man that Octavia took for granted. She loved her father always, but she never knew how much he really cared about her, and how much he was holding back, and how much he was trying to make her childhood and life normal by not telling her things. She truly, truly was lucky to have a father like him. She just wished she told him that before it was too late. And that is, we're going to leave things off. I hope you all enjoyed this What If. I know I did. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And honestly, let me know how your day's going in the comments below. Please tell me. And yeah, do you like Hell of a Boss or Has Been Hotel better? That's a good question. Let me know down in the comments below. And let me know what other universe you want to do. Well, I say that, but I don't really watch that many things. I've watched a few anime, Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel, and I play the crap out of Fallout, but that's about it. So crawl out to the Fallout, baby.